Hello, guys, and welcome to the Marigold Standard, your weekly audio source of all things Dream Star, a fighting Marigold. I'm your host, Rob Goodwin, and I am joined by Mr. Matt Turner. Matt Turner, how are you, good sir?
Rob Goodwin, I am phenomenal. Obviously, you are on an absolute roll before we hit the record button. You are on fire. This is going to be a great podcast. Before we get rocking and rolling, buddy, I want to give a shout out. Congratulations to my buddy Tyler, who occasionally listens to the show. I am in a Facebook wrestling group page with him. He announced that he's going to be the father. He's going to be a father for the second time. The Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. First time I think I've ever prayed on the podcast before, but he's going to be a father, and he's going to have a baby girl. Him and his bride are going to have a baby girl, and he did ask in the group chat for baby names. Rob,
I knew where that was going.
Rob, I mean, obviously, Rob, I could have went with so many, but I said Io and Kyrie.
No, where's the Megaton? Come on,
I didn't even think about it. Yeah, I was thinking Suzu would have been a good one,
Suzu would have been a good one, to be fair.
Bozilla would have been a really good one. Bozilla would have been a great
absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of Azumi,
Yeah, absolutely. And then you've got things that would actually work, like, Starlight Kid.
I thought you were going to say Hazuki, but even...
What's your little daughter's name? Oh, Hummingbird. Oh, little Hummingbird.
It's like that meme where the father and the son are in the car. I'm like, Dad, how come my sister's name is Rose? He goes, because we named him after something that your mother loves, like roses. He goes, thanks, Dad. He's like, no problem. Ricky Steamboat versus Macho Man Randy Savage from WrestleMania.
I love it. Congratulations, Tyler. Obviously, I'm sure you'll be an absolutely outstanding father, whatever you decide to name your daughter. Just for the record, I think there are several great wrestling names out there, but I think May is a good one because you've got May Sarah, but you've also got May, and that is quite a common name right now. So just FYI. And if all else fails, Bookie can death.
There's a lot of winners to pick from. It's more, what do we always say? Sometimes there's more than one right answer, buddy.
Absolutely. And if, again, as I've always said, if the answer's not Megaton, I don't want to know what the question is. But yes, Matt Turner, it's been a good day. Obviously, last night we recorded the Stardom cast, and Newcastle were playing Liverpool.
Yes.
It was a slightly spicy match. Several injuries. One of our players got sent off. Liverpool are a very good team, in fairness. Won the league last year. And there has been some transfer issues this window that have led to quite the rivalry between Newcastle and Liverpool. So this match was always going to be spicy. They went 2-0 up and we had a man sent off. So it wasn't the greatest of starts. We managed to pull it back to 2-2. And for all intents and purposes, absolutely battered them. And then, sure enough, as they have done multiple times against us over the last couple of seasons, in overtime, they managed to steal the win. So devastating. And if you listen back to the Stardom cast, which we've just released on the new feed, listen to the PSA on the old feed to get all of the updates on that. We'll go through it again a little bit later, but you will actually see me realize that Liverpool have scored the third because Matt is talking and you can just see my face go. And then I just shut the tab down and I don't talk about it. And Matt asks me about 2 minutes later, oh, how's the football going? And I'm like, I don't want to talk about it, Matt. I don't want to talk about it.
Somebody did send me a message today asking when the YouTube video is going up. And maybe that's why. Maybe because they hear what our conversation is and they want to see your reaction. Maybe that's why. I was like, I don't know, usually the YouTube video goes up 24 hours after regular podcast. Maybe that's why, Rob. They want your general reaction. They want to see your heart being ripped out. Very much like Ralph Wiggum in that scene in The Simpsons. You can see the exact.
If you pause it, you can see the exact moment his heart explodes. Here and here. Yeah. Old Simpsons is the best sense. It's such a shame because the new seasons just aren't a patch on what the old ones used to be.
They're not bad. I used to be a diehard Simpsons fan, like the first 14, 15 seasons, had the whole Blu-ray sets, the whole nine. It just seemed like the last 9 or 10 years, maybe even longer. Just they seem. I still watch the Treehouse of Horror because that's kind of like their WrestleMania. I still watch that, and they're still funny. But it's like, man, those first handful of seasons were so good. The baseball episode,
yeah,
they're so good. But it's crazy that it's been like 30 years and counting.
it's mad.
Yeah, and they're still making tons of money, so good on them. Keep it up. And those Simpsons, the old Simpsons arcade game, that's always still one of my go-tos every now and again. Rob, good one.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here obviously to talk about Marigold. Only one show to talk about today from the Sunpearl Arakawa in Tokyo. Chika Goto's hometown show, really fun show, but with only 2 little pieces of news as well. This is going to be a relatively short episode, but I know that we have dropped a significant amount of content over the last couple of weeks, what with the Dream Star, the 5-star, and obviously the finals as well. Just wanted to remind everyone that hasn't already heard. We had an issue with our original feed, so I did put out just a small message on that feed just to tell everyone that basically we have got a new feed that we're going to slowly populate with our episodes. That's where all the new episodes are going to live. Basically we've tried a couple of things with the new feed over the last couple of months, and we've still remained with a couple of issues that we can't seem to shift. So whilst we try and sort that one out, we've got this new feed. So if you haven't already, please go and subscribe to that one, because that is where all of the new episodes will be coming out. And slowly but surely, I will be populating that feed with all of the old episodes. So it will have all of the old content in there. So don't worry about that. And thank you to those people that have already subscribed, those people that have already left us a 5-star review, which is very pleasant on Spotify. So thank you for that. But Matt, without further ado, I think we should probably delve straight into the 2 bits of news. And unfortunately, there are 2 little bits of injury news. We start with Kazuna Tanaka, who was withdrawn from the show that we're going to be talking about today on August 22nd. She wouldn't be appearing because it was announced she had a fever. She was initially supposed to be a part of the 6-woman tag alongside Mikoano and Megaton against the Darkness Revolution. She was subsequently replaced by Hummingbird, with the 3-way she was a part of being made the singles match between Naomi Ishikawa and Nagisa Takibana, which had huge ramifications, which we're going to be talking about a little bit later. So sad news for Kazuna Tanaka. However, good news is she is now feeling significantly better. Marigold held their members barbecue this weekend on what looked like a lovely day and a really nice time for everyone involved, and Kazuna Tanaka was there and put out a post to say that she was feeling back to 100%. So that's good news, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. We obviously wish Kazuna Tanaka well. Obviously, again, a little bit under the weather. We live in a post-COVID world. The last thing you want to do is making yourself worse and then maybe getting somebody infected with something in the locker room. So glad that she's feeling better, rest up, and we cannot wait to see her back in action in the next handful of days.
No, absolutely not. I mean, especially as her last Dream Star match against Mai Sakurai was tournament, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else she can do, especially as she's had a really rough time in this tournament, points-wise anyway. Unfortunately, the injury news does not stop there, because Megaton is set to miss action due to recovery from injury. She was obviously a part of the show on the 22nd. However, unfortunately, she will not be appearing on shows from the 30th of August onwards. Marigold haven't announced what the injury is. They've just said that there will be approximately a 3-week recovery period, and that the injury rehabilitation is going to start from the upcoming Korakuen Hall show. So again, we wish Megaton a speedy recovery. I know we make a lot of jokes about Megaton, but Megaton, we wish her the best and hope she recovers very, very quickly, because she is genuinely really quite entertaining in the ring, Matt.
Yeah, and this loaded roster that is Marigold. You have your Mayus, your uTAMis, your Kazuna Tanakas, your Mai Sakurais, your Mirai's, Miko Ano, so on and so forth. Megaton's something that stands out because she's something different. So obviously we'll miss her over the next month or so whenever she's out. So yeah, hopefully whatever that she's going through, she recovers 100%, and then she's back in the ring doing what she does best, Rob, and absolutely entertain everybody, especially me and you.
Absolutely. We're not joking when we say we are hilariously entertained by Megaton. She is genuinely really entertaining. And that brings us to the show. It feels like I'm speed running this episode, and I'm not. It just happens that this is a quiet week for Marigold. I'm sure we'll be having a lot more conversation next week when we've got that absolutely loaded Corrigan Hall show, which we're going to preview at the end of this. Because again, uTAMi versus Mayu is the main event. Yes, please. But this is night 7 of the Dream Star Grand Prix, the 22nd of August, Sun Pearl, Arakawa in Tokyo. It was on video on demand on Wrestle Universe and therefore wasn't available until Monday. So yesterday, as we recorded, the announced attendance inside the venue was 583 for Chika Goto's homecoming show. Marigold did announce that to be a sellout. The first time the company has run the venue. And Matt Turner, before we get into a massive head loss again about have this company actually run this venue before, I am 99.9% sure they've never run this venue before. But again, I might be proved wrong. But I'm sure that Chika Goto has not had a homecoming show. In fact, I'd put no money on it.
I'm glad you do your usual Rob Goodwin 100%. So 99.9. So folks, let us know. I would just tweet at Rob just to be hilariously entertained. Just be like, no, they did run night 1 of the Dream Star Grand Prix last year, where the main event was Naomi Toyota versus Shawn Michaels. That's what I would mess with him a little bit, guys. That's the fun of it. That's the fun of it. But the venue did look familiar again. And I was like, And then I'm like, no, I don't think they ran here. So, yeah, we're still looking for that lost Marigold show. It was lost at sea, Rob Goodwin. Maybe a lost in a pineapple under the sea.
Jesus, tell me about it. It drove me insane, that did. Even after we finished recording. Even now, I'm looking just to double check they haven't run it. I don't think they have. But yes, it was a lovely venue. Again, very similar to the venue that we talked about last week, with the staging and the tiered seating all the way back. And I sort of thought about something with them saying it was a sellout at 583. And then there were the rows of chairs at the front that were empty. And we talked about this last week. And we were like, well, okay, they've announced an attendance. I wonder why they've left those seats empty. And then it hit me while I was watching this show. The stage is raised. They're not going to be able to see from them seats.
Still selling, baby.
Still selling.
Still selling, baby. Jam-pack them in there. Get in with a crowbar and some WD-40. Absolutely. No, that does make sense, buddy. That's like when you go to the movie theater and you can only get the front row, and you're like,
exactly. Yeah. And obviously, the action further away from you, you're not going to be able to see. So it makes perfect sense that the floor seating you're not going to sell, and it's just the tiered seating. And the tiered seating did look full.
WWE would have sold it. We've seen those tickets with SummerSlam and
£18,000 would be sold at WWE.
And it would have been like in the railing. Do you ever see like where somebody's like, this is the seat that I got, obstructed view, and it's just the railing right in front? Yeah. They would have sold that, baby.
There's a football team in the UK called Everton who've just moved to a beautiful new stadium. And I believe it's them anyway. And they used to sell tickets, and there used to be huge pillars in the way. And they used to sell the seats, and you'd turn up and there was just a massive pillar in the way. And you'd be like, the hell? And it's bloody expensive to go and watch football now as well. But yes, just completely off piste before we delve into the results for this match. Have you seen the prices for some of those WrestleMania 42 seats?
I haven't yet. I saw for WrestlePalooza, which nice job, WWE. They can't come up with nothing original. They got to steal off ECW from the 90s. But I saw I saw the WrestlePalooza like 6,000 tickets. I don't even know what Mania is.
I think so. The premium ticket, I can't remember what it's called, the Elite Experience or Premium Experience, is $30,000, which is ringside seats on the hard cam for both nights of WrestleMania, SmackDown, and Raw. And then you get to meet a wrestler, you get to have your photo taken on the ramp. There was apparently a lot of mixed receptions to this price point. However, that's not the most expensive seat, because there is another one for $70,000. The cheapest ticket apparently for WrestlePalooza is $150.
I got a Ring of Honor ticket for $40, Rob Goodwin. I'm going there this Friday, baby. Athena and Amina. Oh, I gotta text Alice and let her know I'm seeing her buddy wrestle. Anywho.
Yeah, it was mad, absolutely mad. I mean, the AEW ticket I bought was I was really close at Forbidden Door. I think my ticket was 125, which I didn't end up going, but I got my money back. The Collision and Dynamite ticket was 30 quid. It was 30 quid, and we got a mint view, really good view. Just money's outrageous, just in every facet. But WWE's prices are absolutely astronomical. So anyone asking if we're going to WrestleMania next year? Nope.
Well, we might be going. We might not just be going to. Well, we might be going to Vegas. Maybe not just WrestleMania. We might be going if the Stardom and Marigold and Tokyo Joshi Pro are running. But we might just go to a bar and get hammered. Maybe we'll do an impromptu live Stardom. Maybe we'll do live commentary, Rob, as it's going on. Well, if we got a lot of time, we got one trip at a time, buddy, because we got a lot on the docket. A lot of air miles, my man. A lot of air miles coming up in the next 12 months for us.
Let's delve into this Marigold show then. So the quick results, we open with a singles match. Nagisa Takibana getting her first ever singles victory, defeating Naomi Ishikawa with a La Magistral cradle in 8 minutes and 23 seconds. 6-woman tag team match next. The Darkness Revolution team of Misa Matsui, Chiaki, and Rhea Sato defeating Miko Ano, Megaton, and Hummingbird, with Misa Matsui submitting Megaton with a sleeper hold in 11 minutes and 42 seconds. 6-woman tag action next as well. Mai Sakurai, Seri Yamaoka, and Minami Yuki defeating Mirai Komomo Minami and Yuki Yamazaki. Minami Yuki pinning Yuki Yamazaki with her roll-up, which he apparently calls the South Wind, at the second attempt in 10 minutes and 15 seconds. Dream Star Grand Prix 2025 Dream League matchup next. Koki Amare moving to 4 points, defeating block leader Victoria Yuzuki, who remains on 6. Koki pinning her with the Amethyst Butterfly in 12 minutes and 23 seconds. Another Dream League match. uTAMi Hayashisa taking the lead in Dream League, taking advantage of Victoria Yuzuki's loss to move to 8 points, defeating Maria, who remains on 4, with the Torture Rack Bomb in 8 minutes and 58 seconds. And we had a surprise return during that match, which we shall be talking about, Matt Turner. Stop the presses. And then in your main event, Chika Goto's homecoming match, Mayu Iwatani defeating Chika Goto with a moonsault in 17 minutes and 2 seconds. So let's start with that opener that we spoke about then. Nagisa Takibana taking advantage of the card change to get her first ever singles victory. I believe her first ever pinfall victory in Marigold with the La Magistral cradle. Really good reward for some really improved performances. And we spoke last week on the Marigold Standard about since bringing in Shuji Kondo as the head coach in the new dojo, there has been a vast improvement in these opening matches. And I think Nagisa Takibana's performances as a whole have improved, and she's been improved ever since she came back from that layoff with injury. But this is another example of that improvement.
Yeah, I thought this was another solid opener. Really great technical wrestling to start. We've seen this between these two. Again, Nagisa's fundamentals are really coming along. There's really no holes in those fundamentals. The wrist locks, the hammer locks, the headlocks. Really great stuff that gets you, pulled in really early. And again, she's pretty much the opening match every show. And I say all the time, Rob, I'm going to say it again. If you're not in the main event, the opener is a great place to be because you're the one setting the table. And this match absolutely set the table. Now Ishikawa, she's fantastic. And again, we can't say enough great things about her. Really great stuff and really great finish towards the end. Almost 9 minutes for them to tell their story, what I thought was perfect time with Nagisa picking up the upset win. I know that now Ishikawa was upset so that she lost, but big win, great match to start the show. 3.5 stars for me.
Moving on to the second match on the card, 6-woman tag, Darkness Revolution versus Hummingbird, Miko Ano and Megaton. And Matt Turner, unfortunately, the pep talk that was given by Miko Ano to Megaton about being just that touch more resilient apparently had no effect whatsoever, because another submission loss for the Great One here and another loss for Hummingbird as well, Matt, which I know is particularly devastating to you.
Yeah, we've been saying Hummingbird's been on a little bit of a win streak as of late, but obviously the Darkness Revolution Army, when they're in these multi-person matches, they usually pick up the win. And you have Hummingbird and Megaton on one side. I was like, oh, however, would their scales, would their fortune be tipped in their favor, Rob Going? Because they do have one Miko Ano on the team. Regardless, that didn't happen. I really like the symmetry between this trio of Darkness Revolution Army with Rhea, Misa, and Chiaki. I thought that they really flowed really well. Like their triple teamwork was excellent. We say it all the time over in Star, whether it was Queen's Quest or DDM or now Neo Genesis or Cosmic Angels. Like it just when you're doing tag team work, that's one thing. But when you're doing like 6-person work and it's as flawless as those factions it's really something special. And these three were really something special in this match. Really great triple teamwork to start off on Hummingbird. Hummingbird comes back. We tag in Megaton. Megaton does the Megaton stuff. Eventually, though, she gets heat put on her. And then for me, the best part of this match was Miko Ano and Misa Matsui. Just really great, high intensity, high speed, junior style wrestling between two of the best wrestlers in this company. Really, really great stuff. And then it kind of breaks down a little bit. Megaton, she hits the Megaton press on the Misa Matsui. I thought, goodbye, that's it. See ya. Misa Matsui might be out of the Dream Star, put her on the stretcher job, the whole nine. However, Misa Matsui, she pulls down from underneath, buddy, shows that fighting spirit, kicks out. Eventually, we get the waterfall finishes, and then Misa Matsui kind of locks Megaton in a submission, and that's really all that you need. I thoroughly enjoyed this match. Again, the great stuff with Misa and Miko Ano was really next level for me. 3 3/4 stars, good sir.
Yeah, you don't need necessarily a full submission to submit Megaton nowadays. It's just the threat of a submission being there. I think even if you say, I'm going to lock in a submission now, Megaton will tap just to save herself. And to be honest, it's actually quite clever psychology when you think about it from Megaton. You've said before, you think about MMA. You get locked in a submission hold in MMA. You don't wait. You tap out because you don't want to get severely hurt. And Megaton, it's simply self-preservation. Is she actually the cleverest person on this entire Marigold roster? A misunderstood genius, some might say.
That's a possibility, buddy. I used to have this joke where I'd be like, hey, I can get out of your wrist lock in under a second. And people would be like, really? I'm like, I need a referee. So I would have whatever before a show. I would be like, listen, I will show you. I put like $50 down. I can get out of there under a second. I'm like, okay, start the timer. And as soon as they put me in a wrist lock, I tap out. I'm like, see, I got out of it. I got out of it. But yeah, see?
And there you go. $50 richer, Mr. Turner. Clever, clever ruse, my friend.
I know the deal, buddy. I know the deal. Mama didn't raise no idiot.
We then moved on to our second 6-woman, Mai Sakurai, Seri Yamaoka, and Minami Yuki getting the win over Mirai Komomo and Yuki Yamazaki. Interesting moment with the pinfall because obviously Minami Yuki locked in the South Wind, which is her sort of La Magistral variation onto Yuka, and she must have over-rotated and Yuka's shoulders must not have been down. But the referee, like, credit to the referee where credit is due. Often you'll just see refs ignore that and just be like, you do you. Did spoil the flow of the match slightly, but again, you've got to learn, haven't you? They are two relatively inexperienced wrestlers. You've got to learn about, simple things like that. Other than that, I thought the match was really good. Again, we got little teases for Mirai and Mai Sakurai, which is coming up very, very shortly on this Marigold calendar, which I cannot wait for, Mr. Turner. That's probably the match I'm most excited for, even with Mayu and uTAMi. Seri Yamaoka and Komomo were great as well. Can't believe how much Komomo Minami has come on. I say this all the time, every time she's in a match. The progress she's had is unreal.
Yeah, I mean, in this match, you have Mirai on one side, you have Mai Sakurai, your United National Champion, Seri Yamaoka, who is the super rookie of all of rookies in all of wrestling. And Komomo Minami kind of stands out as far as the aura goes. Again, not only getting better in the ring, but getting better. Not only better bell to bell, but better curtain to curtain. You know what I mean by that, Rob? Whether she, when she cuts that curtain, that that's somebody special. And even after the match is over, you still have that time to go out in the curtain. I remember doing a Watch Your Feet. I'm going to drop a name. I did a seminar with Jake the Snake Roberts, and he'd say after the match, whether you win or lose, you rotate the complete opposite way of the ring. So this way you have the longest time to get out and you can connect with the fan on your selling, on your celebration, or get heat. And that always stuck with me. I'm like, you have to maximize every second that you're out there. And that's what Komomo Minami really has been doing, whether it's on the entrance, whether it's in the ring, or whether it's somewhat afterwards. But yeah, I thought this was solid stuff. We did get a decent amount with Mirai and Mai Sakurai. I did like how Team Mai Sakurai, they locked in the triple submission. I'm always a really big fan of that. Sari and Komomo had a really great exchange, really and interesting stuff there. Again, young Marigold right in front of our face. And I mean, that the future is very bright for these two wrestlers and this company. Eventually, though, we get almost that mini singles match with Yuka and Manami Yuki. Manami Yuki does lock in that pin attempt. I always just called it the triangle lancer pin attempt because that's to what it me looks like. But now we do know it's now known as the South Wind. Really, really cool name. But yeah, you're absolutely right. The referee was like, look, shoulders aren't down. Like you have to you have to count it, And there was a couple little hiccups like that on this show, but this is all their procedure. Regardless, solid match, 3.5 stars for me.
We move on then to Dream Star action. Koki Amare and Victoria Yuzuki. And there's an intensity to Victoria Yuzuki, is there not? That very few on this Marigold roster at the moment are matching. Absolutely charges Koki Amare to start this match. And to do that, and to do the amount of moves she did in that huge entrance jacket, feathers flying everywhere, was quite a visual, and it was really quite impressive. I really enjoyed this match. I thought this was a really good back and forth. I thought this was one of Victoria Yuzuki's one of her best performances. And the reason that I say that is because she almost beat herself here. There was, as I mentioned, such an intensity to especially her offense that she almost seemed to exhaust herself by the 10th minute, which gave Koki the opportunity to beat her. And that's a really interesting point because it's been brought up about how, Victoria Yuzuki is always on. She's always ready. She's always going, And it's an interesting sort of thought that that's not always a good thing. That can backfire. And that's the story I thought here, because the vast majority of this match is Victoria Yuzuki just constantly on Koki Amare, not giving her a moment to breathe. And it just seemed that she just ran out of steam by, again, the 10th minute. And then Koki Amare is able to hit the Amethyst Butterfly. But by God, every time Koki misses that Amethyst Butterfly, I wince. Because she takes it all on the front. And I'm like, oh, Koki, your poor knees. Please be careful.
Even when she hits it, because you have to take that on your knees, because if not, you're going to knee your opponent. So you kind of have to take that as well. You're absolutely right. Like this match, I was literally like writing my notes and I was like getting the points total. All of a sudden, I look up on my screen, and all of a sudden, like there's Victoria Yuzuki running 1,000 miles an hour, and Koki Amare is getting her ass kicked. I was like, did I accidentally bump the button and rewind it or fast forward 3 minutes? I was like, oh, like the bell rings and she's just like, hi, boom, and goes right after poor Koki. But then Koki is just like, okay, here we go. And she comes back with that big boot and just stops Yuzuki in her tracks. And then we get like really great exchanges with the forearms and the kicks. And then we get really great submission exchanges. So this match really shows the vast majority of offense, like the difference of offense between Koki and Victoria Yuzuki in this match. You have the high intensity, high paced offense in the beginning. You have the strikes back and forth between the two. And then we have some really great chain wrestling into submissions to kind of slow things down after that insane beginning and then eventually build things back up. I really like that. I like Koki does go for the Amethyst Butterfly, but she doesn't have Victoria Yuzuki wore down enough. She missed that. Yuzuki goes back to the crossface. Thoroughly enjoy that. Great back and forth action there. Victoria Yuzuki looks like she's going to put Koki away with the rolling arrow, but Koki Amare stacks her. I'm like, oh, that'll be a really good finish because, again, it is the tournaments. You never know when somebody's move may get stacked for a 3 count. Really great near falsy. The one thing I always say about Koki Amare, the Amethyst Butterfly is her best looking move and a really cool visual, but she needs to do something to set it up. She needs like a bigger move to set it up. And she used the full Nelson Slam, which I thought was really, really cool. It's a move that we really haven't seen in quite some time in professional wrestling. So shout outs to the Patriot, Del Wilkes, for the bringing out the full Nelson Slam. She uses that to keep Victoria Yuzuki down, hits the Amethyst Butterfly. I thought this was a great match. I thought this was Koki Amare's best match, and she's been back from injury. And this is just another great match in the catalog of Victoria Yuzuki, not only in this tournament, but this year. This was my second favorite match of the show. I gave it the solid 4 stars.
Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed this. She's also been using the Spine Buster as well to set up that Amethyst Butterfly as well. So slowly but surely, she's cultivating a move set to get into the Amethyst Butterfly. I do want to see, and this is a discussion that we've had about Koki, I do want to see her utilize other moves as well. And we saw actually a really cool submission that she locked Victoria Yuzuki in about halfway through the match, where she's stretching the arm out with her legs, and it's something that we've seen her use before, and I'd quite like her to use that as a submission finish as well. But again, even if it's just a big boot or something like that, I just don't want Koki Amare to get hurt again.
I know when she came back, she beat somebody with that move, and she only used it once. I forget. She had a really cool name for it. Was it the butterfly lock or the amethyst lock? I forget what it was. I can't
remember.
It was because you said it. Obviously, when you go through the results part, and that's when I read everything down. I'm like, that's a cool looking move and a cool looking name. We kind of figured the reason why now she adopted that finish is so that she doesn't have to go to the amethyst butterfly all that often. Like when she goes, it'll be something super special. Then she's probably like, no, I'm going to continue to do it. So yeah, well, again, you're absolutely right. Please protect yourself. Everybody, just protect yourself in general.
Moving on then, and obviously with Victoria Yuzuki slipping up to 3-1, uTAMi had the opportunity to go ahead in Dream League, even if she has wrestled one more match. She did get there with the win over Maria, but Matt, that is nowhere near the main breaking news coming out of this match, because we saw the return of uTAMi. And honestly, Matt, I popped huge. I popped huge for that exchange. And then when they both turned and tried to get the referee to do it as well, I was like, yes, love that. But actually, once they'd sort of done the the gaga, they actually had a really good back and forth.
This is my favorite match of the show. I thought this was great. They start out with some wrestling. Maria breaks uTAMi down. uTAMi Nakano down with the armbar. Then they have their kawaii off, their cutie off, which I thought was really fun.
Kawaii off, yeah.
And then we get some really great stuff back and forth where obviously uTAMi's on the back end, and we say this all the time. I'm going to say it again. uTAMi does such a great job selling, putting her opponent over in the match, where whether she's winning or losing, she makes sure her opponent gets everything in the match. Maria looked phenomenal here. In my opinion, this is her best match in the Dream Star thus far. She hits that slingshot double stomp, which I thought was great. We get a forearm trade out between the two, which uTAMi obviously gets the better of, but Maria comes back with a big drop kick. Back to the arm she goes. I really like that. And then she transitions the arm bar into the triangle choke, which I thought was great. Tommy comes back with forearm sliding lariat that scored her a 2 count. She hits a torture rack drop that scores her a 2 count. She hits a German that scores her a 2 count, and then she goes for the torture rack bomb. Once again, the same move that had her win the 2020 5-star Grand Prix and last year's Dream Star Grand Prix. So I really like that. She goes for it, but Maria's able to roll her up. Really great near falls finish there. Eventually, though, it is uTAMi with the huge lariat, and then goes back and hits the torture rack bomb for the 3 count. My favorite match from this show, 4 stars from me. And we said it last week, buddy. uTAMi is just obviously she's a next level wrestler, but she's really been wrestling this Dream Star as if she has a chip on her shoulder, as if she's here to say, hey, I know Mayu's here. I know the icon is here. I know there's a lot of steam on Miko Ano, Mirai, Mai Sakurai, but not only did I win this tournament last year, I'm your Crimson Red Belt champion. And I'm the best wrestler in this company. Again, she is really putting her foot down, making sure each and every match is something that you're going to remember. So far for me, buddy, every single match that she's had has been next level. uTAMi highest just the level. Again, 4 stars for me, my favorite match from this show.
It was my favorite Dream Star match from this show. However, my favorite match on this show was the main event, Chika Goto's homecoming match, Mayu Iwatani versus Chika Goto. It's my favorite match for a number of reasons. I had a huge smile on my face throughout the entirety of Chika Goto's entrance, because that woman, like all her Christmases at Come Up Once, she was so happy to see absolutely everyone. She's hugging people. She's flying flags. She's picking up kids. Hopefully she knows the kids and she's not just trying to pick them up randomly. But it's a very cute and very lovely entrance. And then, of course, she does the Go Chika, and the entire venue does the same. You could just see how much this means to her. She's very overwhelmed with the emotion, and then she just snaps out of it And she's like, right, business time now. I've wanted this singles match with Mayu for the longest time since Mayu debuted at the start of May. This is my chance to prove myself. And they had a really good match. They had a really entertaining, enjoyable match. Obviously, again, you had the funnies. You had Chika Goto hitting the giant swing, but doing 20 revolutions of it. And I don't know if you saw this, but Miko Auno is in the corner and she's counting them with the crowd. And she gets to 11 and her face starts going, oh my God. Oh, wow. And then she gets to about 16 and you just see her start just uncontrollably laughing as it continues and continues and continues. Now, eventually she lets go. And then Mayu just can't get up. Tries the running drop kick against the ropes and just is too dizzy to do it. There's two gentlemen behind the ring who are just in fits of hysterics at this point. Rossi completely unmoved. Absolutely unmoved, stoic as anything, Rossi Ogal, but those two men lost it. I thought these two had really good chemistry. I thought that Mayu did a wonderful job of putting Chika Goto over in defeat. I thought Chika Goto did a wonderful job of showing to everyone that even though she's not on Mayu's level, very few wrestlers are, let's be perfectly honest, she can compete. And I think that's something that we wanted from her with that grit and determination that she started showing, especially since the Marvelous feud started. We've seen an uptick in her determination, her grit, her ability to sort of grit her teeth, her resilience. And that was brought to the fore here. And eventually, obviously, Mayu gets the win with the moonsault. I don't know how much I would trust a dizzy Mayu on the top rope, but she hit it. She hit it nevertheless. And then we got this lovely moment at the end. The entire roster up in the crowd and Chika Goto doing her pose with Mayu, the entire crowd doing it as well. And genuinely, it is one of the most heartwarming moments in Marigold's history. I thought it was the perfect close to this show. I thought this match was everything a homecoming match should be. I don't think anyone expected Chika Goto to pin Mayu Iwatani. Let's just put that out there. However, it is exactly the match that Chika Goto needed it to be. I thoroughly enjoyed this match.
Yeah, it was fun. I like the uTAMi match a little bit better, but this one had the moments. Like there was the moment where I love how they work, and they had a lot of time to work with over 17 minutes. Yeah. They had a lot of time, and I love it how like she's trying to go for the giant swing, and Mayu, you see the panic on her face, and she crawls to the ropes. And then they go back to it, and I like it. It's like, oh, we want to see. And Mayu's like, no. And then she gets into, yeah, you're absolutely right. She gets those revolutions. I did not see Miko Ano's face, which
That's
just
so funny.
Just the visual would add to that spot. But this is a really great back and forth. Obviously, Mayu really puts it to Chika Goto. Chika Goto comes back, and Mayu really has to empty the tank out, like the moveset, to really put away Chika Goto, because Chika Goto just had a ton of fire. Before we get any further, streamers for Chika Goto.
That was the other moment. She just looked so happy. It was such a nice moment.
Yeah, this match it was a solid match, but we're going to remember it for the moments. And obviously the moments are always things that you're going to remember when it comes to professional wrestling. But yeah, Mayu, obviously the buzzsaw kick, the German, back to the buzzsaw kick, and the moonsault. Again, like I said, I really have to empty the tank to defeat Chika Goto, which I thought was great. It really showed. Mayu did a great job putting Chika Goto over, making her look like a possible threat for someone that can beat, one of the big main eventers, her here in Marigold. And that's what you want to do as a main eventer. Like I mentioned with uTAMi on the last match, and pretty much with uTAMi every week, it's like you want to pull everybody up to make them better, because ultimately it makes the product look better. So excellent stuff from Mayu. Obviously, Chika Goto really brought it. 17 minutes, probably her longest singles match of her career, and she was able to stay hold for hold, move for move with the icon and one Mayu. And again, we will always remember, Rob, forever, them, everybody in the crowd doing the Chika Goto thing, and not only doing the chant and their fingers, but like swaying the body. I didn't know that was a thing, like sway, because they had a great camera shot all the way up top. Because I know they put it on their social media, like the hard cam, that was right there. So we saw that, but we saw on the final product, once they edited it and put it up on Wrestle Universe, that they had the camera all the way up top. And I was like, oh, I know she does the Chika Goto thing, but like it looks like, I guess, everybody moved with it, which I thought was really, really cool. Again, that's something we remember a long time. 4 stars for me, but obviously just really, really great stuff, and moments you'll remember. And hopefully this is something that's going to, this match in this tournament is something that's going to elevate Chika Goto, because I would love to see her either get a run with the Twin Star Tag Team Championship, or get a run with either the GHC or the United National Championship.
Don't think she's quite ready for the United National Championship yet. I can certainly see it in the future, absolutely. But when you look at, again, we're fancy booking with absolutely no prior knowledge. We're looking at potentially Mai Sakurai and Mirai as your United National Championship match for Grand Destiny. I don't think Chika Goto's on that level. However, I can certainly see with a lot more of these sorts of matches and, a lot more development, I can certainly see her getting there. I think the Twin Star Championships is a much better fit, certainly at the moment, for Chika Goto. The only question is, who do you have as a partner? Minami Yuki? I mean, they've been teaming a lot. They've been, again, gelling really well as a team. I don't think Minami Yuki is quite ready for a Twin Star run yet. So do you then have Koki Amare go back and you have a reconnecting of the Twin Towers? Because after all, Koki's not doing anything at the moment. I don't think she's quite red belt ready. She might have a shot, certainly. I think she'll have a challenge, but I don't think she's certainly ready to win the belt. So, why not? Why not have the Twin Towers hold the Twin Star titles? I think they'd be a perfect fit.
Yeah, and again, you're not doing anything with her. And again, they seem like they have everything kind of lined up for the rest of the year as far as red belt and white belt. Again, maybe that with us fantasy booking, and I think maybe I would love to see Goto and Koki Amare. Magenta and Celine Flora kind of almost have like a feud, like whether it's tag matches or triangle matches or three-way matches or what have you, or singles matches on these quote-unquote house shows to build up
proper back and forth.
Yeah, I think that would be great. I mean, what a great way after you're coming off this tournament, a great way between now and the end of the year. I think that would be something terrific, and I think everybody would benefit from, not only as singles wrestlers but tag team wrestlers as well. So there's a lot they can do. There's a lot of potential for Chika Goto and the tag team division in Marigold.
And that was the end of the show. Obviously, only 2 Dream Star matches on this card, but the current standings for the Dream Star. Dream League, uTAMi sits on top of the block with 8 points. Of course, she does only have 2 matches left, and she's got 1 match more than Victoria Yuzuki. Mayu on 4, Yuzuki on 6 in second place, Koki and Seri and Maria all on 4 points as well. Chiaki on 2, Ria Sato still propping up that block with 0. A loss against Chiaki at Corrigan Hall would eliminate her from proceedings. In fact, I believe she's already eliminated from proceedings, because the win by uTAMi does actually eliminate Ria Sato, because she can only get 6 points. Star League a little bit more open. We've still got 3 people at the top of the block with 6 points. Mai Sakurai, Misa Matsui, and Nagisa Nozaki. Misa Matsui having that crucial tiebreak win over Mai Sakurai. You have got Chanyota on 4 points, just behind them. Mirai just behind on 3. Chika Goto on 2. Miko Aono still only on 1, even though she's only wrestled 2 matches. And then Kazuna Tanaka on 0, having wrestled 3 matches as well. Next week, there are 2 shows ready for the Dream Star. The main one, of course, is Corrigan Hall, Saturday, the 30th of August. And Matt, what a card we have. It is all Dream Star action. Ria Sato versus Chiaki in the Dream League. Star League, Kazuna Tanaka versus Misa Matsui. Star League, Chika Goto, sorry, couldn't remember her name then. Chika Goto versus Nagisa Nozaki. Dream League, Koki Amare versus Seri Amoka. Star League, Miko Aono versus Chanyota. Star League, Mai Sakurai versus Mirai. Dream League, Victoria Yuzuki versus Maria. And then, of course, the match that a lot of people have circled as the match of the tournament already, uTAMi Hayashishita versus Mayu Iwatani from the Dream League. Matt, there's a lot of matches to look forward to there for a whole bunch of reasons, with the obvious exceptions being Mayu and uTAMi and Mirai and Mai Sakurai. What other matches catch your eye on this card?
Did you say Miko Aono and Chanyota?
Miko Aono and Chanyota, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be hard hitting, right up my alley. And Miko Aono's got to make up some points, buddy. I think this is where we see This is I think this is where we see the Miko Ano rally. I think this one, even Rhea Sato and Chiaki should be fun as well because they've been having really good tournaments as far as match quality goes. And it's gonna be interesting to see what body part Death Note Rhea Sato does. I want if anybody knows, because she's been drawing the pictures, it's gonna be really interesting. You know where she should go. She should paint a picture of the claw, not the hand, but the claw. But I'm going after the claw. Like I'm going after the claw and the fingers. That would be something because small joint manipulation is illegal in MMA, but not in pro wrestling. So how awesome would it be? She beats her with an armbar, but then she kind of like almost Pete Dunne breaks the fingers. I think that would be fantastic.
I think Rhea Sato will pick up a win against Chiaki. That's just an early prediction there. I'd also not sleep on Kazuna Tanaka and Misa Matsui. I think that's going to be a very, very quick but very, very enjoyable match. And again, my predictions for this Dream Star have been absolutely abhorrent so far. They've been dreadful. So I'm going to say that I think Kazuna Tanaka will pick up a win just to sort of level off Misa Matsui's run. But again, that probably means that Misa Matsui's winning in 2 minutes. And do not sleep on Chika Goto and Nagisa Nozaki because that has a real propensity to explode as well. We've also got another show as well that will be coming up on Tuesday, the 2nd of September. That will be live again from Shinjuku. Face 5 Dream Star matches on that card. Star League Miko Ano versus Kazuna Tanaka and Chika Goto versus Chan Yota. We've also got 3 Dream League matches. Victoria Yuzuki versus Rhea Sato. Maria versus Seri Yamoka. And Koki Amare versus Mayu Iwatani, Matt. So Chika Goto versus Chan Yota, one that immediately jumps to mind. Again, you can see that determination from Chika Goto, forcing Chan Yota to dig deeper and deeper into her arsenal. I think that Miko Ano versus Kazuna Tanaka promises to be very good as well.
Yeah, a lot of really great matches. And again, with only one show to talk about, obviously this week and then next week, we have 2 really loaded cards. That's really going to kind of flesh out where they're going for the rest of this Dream Star Grand Prix. So it's going to be really interesting to watch. Obviously, I'll be watching the show from Corkin either live or a few hours afterwards. It all depends. Probably a few hours afterwards. I'm probably not getting home from Philly from the Ring of Honor show until probably the wee hours of the morning. So, but I'm really excited to get caught up on the Dream Star, my friend.
I think it is an early one. It's 11:30 Japan time, which I think is 4:30 British Standard Time, which would make it 11:30 p.m. your time. I think
I'll probably be on the Pennsylvania Turnpike. So if you see me, folks, just wave the hand and tell me who's winning that Rhea Sato versus Chiaki match.
They're just pulling their fingers going, she's doing it. Small joint manipulation.
They have a little tablet and they're putting it up. They have like the cartoon drawing of it. But like, that's what it is. She's working the claw. Or just bang on the window and go like this. And if you see me at the ECW arena, give me the old the claw. Last time when I was there for last time I was there was the Stardom show, but the time before I went for the New Japan TNA show where Julie was wrestling. And I had so many people that came up to me and did the Baipoi because that was like when it was white hot, the Baipoi. So I thought that was really cool. So if you see me, guys, give me the old claw. Give me the old claw.
There you go. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. And finally, Matt, I know this will be extremely quick, just like Io and Kairi Watch was yesterday. It's time, my friend, to gaze at Julia.
Our gaze at Julia. Once again, thanks to my main man, Darren Chatton. And don't worry, Darren, Rob has already told me the Newcastle jerseys that we are sending you. So that's get our
like
little ribbon.
£1,000. He's not getting one of them.
Yeah, I think it'd be funny. Julia, just another backstage segment. It's like she wins the championship. She has a great rematch with Zelina Vega and just a backstage segment after backstage segment. Hopefully, eventually they'll get her in the ring because that's where she does her best work. Because Julie is great. Mm-hmm. It seems like I'm like a broken record. Rob Goodwin backstage segment setting up a potential match with Julie and Michin, also known as Mia Yim. Which once that match does get in the ring, Rob Goodwin, it's going to be really, really good. But boy, howdy, we're really building this up here. Folks.
We are milking it something awful, aren't we? And it sounds like as well that they're going to do something with Kiana James, is it? Before Mia Yim can have Julia. So it's going to stretch out even further, apparently.
Yeah, probably until the leaves hit the ground, my man. Until the leaves hit the ground. So, here's the question, Rob. Does this Julia versus Mia Yim match happen before my daughter turns 21? which is the first week of October. Let's figure that out.
I thought you were going to say my daughter's 16. I mean, who knows? Who knows? These pay-per-views have only got 5 matches on.
They're 4 hours long because of all the adverts. It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll probably be a WWE United States Championship women's belt sponsored by American whiskey, and it will be done as a Walmart style cage match or something ridiculous. But yes, I think it'll be great when it actually happens. It's just a shame that we have to wait so bloody long for it, but leaves lots and lots of time for Logan Paul. So that's what we all really want, isn't it? More Logan Paul on our screens. But, ladies and gentlemen, and again, it feels like we're almost shortchanging you with this 50-minute episode, but that is the end of this week's episode of the Marigold Standard. Obviously, we do only have one match to talk about. We will have the Korakuen Hall and Shinjuku face cards to talk about next week, so a longer episode, we promise. Don't forget that obviously these episodes are now on our new feed, which is linked in the podcast description. Just follow our link tree because that has been updated as well. You can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review and a comment because we have started from zero again because of the new feed, so it'd be nice to get some traction on this new feed as well. Patreon.com/The Stardom Cast, where you can get all of our episodes early and ad-free for as little as $1 a month, as well as all of the news and reviews coming out of the world and of Stardom and of Marigold for absolutely free. You don't need to sign up or anything like that. You can find us on social media at Marigold Podcast, unless, of course, it is Instagram, Threads, or Blue Sky, where it is Talk Joshi. You can find me on Twitter at Real Rob Goodwin. Mr. Matt Turner, sign us off, good sir.
Folks, questions, comments, suggestions, anything you need from me, Matt Turner OF on the Instagram and the Twitter is the easiest, fastest, and best way to get a hold of me. Or, folks, you can shoot me an email. The email address simply is thestardomcast22@gmail.com. Folks, that's going to wrap it up for another episode of the Marigold Standard. We greatly appreciate your support. Can't do without you. It's like I always say, it's just not my podcast. It's our podcast. As well as together, everybody's different. Everybody's special.